Welcome to Castle Haut-Beaumont in the Ardennes, Belgium, where I am Professor Paul Frijders.
And I'm Dr. Erica Turkstra.
We are the directors of Academia Libera Mentis, a new educational institution for real critical thinking. And today we want to talk about something that has just been in the world news. Shingle vaccines. Do they actually reduce dementia? Yes or no? Let's find out. And of course, our answer is going to be not likely. But that'll be the reveal. So, what happened yesterday? Yesterday it was world news. You saw it everywhere. The New York Times, The Guardian, the BBC, all the usual media channels. Headlines. Finally, we've got something that helps against dementia. Shingles vaccines in a Welsh study. Really? Let's have a look. Where did this study come from? It was in a top paper, namely Nature. There were 6 co-authors, and they based themselves on data from Wales. Wales is one of the regions, if you like, from Great Britain. Let's delve into the heart of their data. The heart of their data is not, as you might expect, just comparing the vaccinated and unvaccinated in some sort of randomized trial. No. The heart of their data is in fact a relationship between age and dementia. Yes, you heard that right, age and dementia. So their data goes for individuals from different ages, and the older ones, 20% got dement in a period between 2013 and 2020, and the younger ones, only 11% got dement in the same period from 2013 to 2020. As you would expect, the older people, of course, are more likely to go demented. But something strange happened to people of a very particular age, namely the people born just after September 1933 or just before 1933. And that's what's on this horizontal axis. So 0 is the people born in September 1933, 52 is the ones born in September 1934, and minus 52 is the ones born in September 1932. And look at the difference. Each of these little dots is basically 3,000 Welsh elderly people. And this here tells you the percentage of those who got demented between 2013 and 2020. So the year born just before September 1933, they on average were about 16% rate of dementia. If you look at the Welsh born just the year after, maybe 14.5%, a large difference. And this is what made headlines. But really, all that it is age dementia data. There is also another part of this puzzle, which is that this drop in dementia by age differs from men and women. So if you look at the women, then you find first higher rates of dementia. That is normal. But you see a much larger drop between those born in the year before September 1933 and after. It's a drop of nearly 3%. Now, what about males? Well, with the males, you do see, of course, that the elder males are more likely to have dementia than the younger ones, but you see no dramatic drop between those just before September 1933 and after September 1933. So this is the heart of the puzzle that they have. The puzzle is basically just age and dementia data. Right? How do they interpret this? What hypothesis have they got? What actually happened to people born after the 2nd of September 1933 that could have this effect on dementia? Over to Erica.
According to the study authors of the Nature article, it is shingles vaccine. The authors mentioned that shingle vaccines were offered to people under the age of 80 from 2nd of September 2013. So that means people born after 2nd of September 1933 were able to get the vaccine. People born before were not offered the vaccine. In Wales, approximately 50% of the people offered the vaccine, so under the age of 80, actually got the vaccine. But does this really explain the data? As we saw, the males didn't see a drop in dementia after they were able to get the vaccine. The other element is, why September? Is there something in September that's really important? School starts. So we looked at school reforms in Wales. And in 1947, there was a school reform, an education reform, at the age of 14 of those kids born in 1933. And additionally, there was some milk program. So what was this school reform? Well, the school reform was the Butler reform. It's an education act, and it impacted 14-year-olds from September 1947. They had to go to school for another year. So rather than the school age compulsory education until the age of 14, it became the education up to the age of 15. So what does that really mean? 1947, so the kids born in 1933, they would have been 14. But if you were born between January and August, you were already 14 before the school year started. So you could choose to leave the school then. However, if you're born from September onwards, you had to stay in school for another year. So quite a huge difference. In a paper in the American Economic Review by Oreopoulos from 2006, they looked at whether kids were actually going to school. So this is from 1935 till 1965. They look at kids going to school. So this is the fraction leaving full-time education. So if it's 1, it means everyone leaves education and no one is at school. If it's 0, everyone is at school. This line with the big dots are kids at the age of 14. Are they in school? Are they leaving school? So up until 1946, approximately 60 to 70% of the kids left school at the age of 14. In 1947, 30% left school. The other kids stayed in school. This is partly because of that change in the law in the Education Act during 1947. From 1948, a very low percentage of kids dropped out of school. They all stayed in school because it was compulsory. There's still some dropout, but this is a huge impact. And if I now look at that graph, and the graph that Paul showed earlier about the impact with age and dementia, I see a similar pattern. There might be a correlation. In addition, so these kids were longer at school. They also got the advantage of the milk program. So at schools in England and in Wales, they could get free milk, which meant that they got better nutrition and that there was less malnutrition. Kids after September 1933 born had an additional year of education, an additional year of proper nutrition through the milk program. So do shingle vaccines reduce dementia?
Or are we looking at the effect of extra education and good milk? Tell us in your comments.